In this edition of Avtn, the numbers are in and enrollment is up in Independence. We'll provide you the latest stats for the Independence Community School District and a good show of sportsmanship from one WAMAC school honors an Independence group. All ahead during this edition of Avtn News. Hello, I'm Ryan Adams.
And I'm Spencer Rothman.
In a show of great sportsmanship, the Independence Pep Band was recently awarded an extra special honor. For the music staff department and students involved, this award meant something more special than most of the first-place trophies currently on display. Recently, the Independence Pep Band performed at the girls' basketball game to an excited visiting team. Prior to the game, music staff were contacted by the Williamsburg girls' head coach inquiring if the band would be performing at the upcoming event. He mentioned that it was the one point of conversation many of the Williamsburg athletes remembered from the previous year and were again looking forward to this year. The night of the game, Williamsburg head coach Aaron Feddersen met with Mr. Lang to present the band program a plaque, naming Independence Pep Band the best ever.
Progress on the 2016 Spring Musical continues to take shape, one tap, one board, and one line at a time. Cast and crew, along with director Mr. Barloon, have been working hard since the December announcement of the show to get cast, crew, and stage sets show ready. For the past 6 weeks, volunteers and staff have spent numerous hours each Saturday to continue adding portions of the set to the stage, with each set being custom built for the auditorium. In the past, some set pieces have been rented or purchased. This year's show doesn't have that luxury, leaving staff to truly put their spin on the show.
Well, that certainly sounds like it's going to be a great show. As quick as 2016 started, one season has already wrapped up in Independence. The state large group speech season wrapped up officially this week following numerous Independence group having a strong showing this past weekend in Waterloo at the Iowa High Schools Speech Association State Large Group Festival. What started out as a strong showing at the WAMAC Conference Festival and later at the district level, the Mustang squad worked its way up to state level, sending 8 groups. At the end of the day, after competing against 84 other teams, Independence received 4 Division II ratings and 4 Division I ratings. Unfortunately, though, none of the 8 were selected as all-state qualifiers, bringing an end to the large group season. Congratulations to the Mustang speech team for a great season. Speech season isn't completely over, as now participating students will prepare for individual speech season.
Now, while we were unable to produce a show this past month to start 2016, we wanted to recap a month's worth of events. In case you missed out on the numerous concerts and TV broadcasts, the junior-senior high school saw multiple rounds of near sold-out shows this past December. To support the many holiday district concerts, including kindergarten through high school groups, for nearly a month, the auditorium was in full holiday mode thanks to community volunteers and numerous students who helped set up concerts as early as mid-November. Now, specifically, concert staff would like to extend a special thanks to many of the members of the 8th grade jazz band for volunteering to help assemble holiday decorations. Because of the level of performances held this school year, KCRG-TV agreed to rebroadcast the high school concert. Because of the many great things independent schools have to offer, KCRG has aired the Mustangs 3 times this year.
Wow. Well, the numbers are in, and so far things are looking up. The Independence Community School District has turned a corner on the issue of enrollment. While too early to consider the data a trend, short-term data from the past 3 school years show positive growth in overall student numbers. According to Superintendent Peterson, the 2014-2015 school year saw the district's first noticeable growth with 5 new students, but it's only a small increase as compared to this year. By the end of 2015, the district officially welcomed 25 new students to the district, with the majority of students being the junior-senior high school. The exciting aspect of this data is that the report already factors in the number of students who may left the district in the past years. However, Superintendent Peterson says there's not enough data to show what reasons specifically are behind the increases. In a quote to AVTN, Peterson explains, "We can't pinpoint one main reason for the increase, but we did have quite a few new families move into our school district for various reasons. There was no new company that came to town that provided more job opportunities, etc., and our open enrollment numbers did not increase. I do think our new facilities are impressive and quite a draw for new families. One very important aspect to increased enrollment for any district is the additional state funding each student brings. Into a district for independence, Peterson notes that she is hopeful for the addition of 25 students into our district that will help prevent the need for additional budget cuts pending state funding changes this spring. We'll cover more on this issue coming up later in state news.
That is amazing. Now, behind many great projects in and around our school district is the Mustang Foundation. Established in the early 90s, the Mustang Foundation continues to support district projects with funding from donations and fundraisers. Recently, the foundation held its annual banquet dinner where over 200 of the most die-hard Mustang fans enjoyed an evening of socializing and dining on some top-quality desserts. Desserts were presented by participating school activity groups who then served the desserts and worked to gain the most tips. The winning dessert this year was presented by Catherine Smith, representing the high school spring musical. During the event, the winning group also received a bonus of $200 for coming in first. Also winning as a result was the AV Tech Club by virtue of selection by the winning table. Members of the table won the rights to honor one other activity of their choice to win $100. This year's select honor in cash went to the Independence AV Tech Club. Overall, the outcome was a great success with total funds raised nearly $20,000.
With the new junior-senior high school up and running, it's time to finish off the final chapter of the high school. Announced earlier this month, the district has begun the process of selling a portion of the former high school property. The portion for sale includes the northern half of the former high school senior parking lot, tennis courts, and annex. As for the remaining properties, you will remember that the district has already sold the southern half to the City of Independence as the future site of the new aquatic center. The property is said to be for sale as is. If interested in making an offer or seeking more information on the property, contact Lynette Engel at 319-332-0458 or by emailing at lengel@independence.k12.ia.us. All offers will be subject to acceptance and final approval by the Independence Community School District. Coming up after our break, we'll bring you more news, weather, and sports with AVTN.
Arts, athletics, and academics. 3 A's that describe the Mustangs. With a rich history in all areas, the Mustangs strive to be the standard for excellence on all fronts. A school district second to none where students have numerous opportunities to achieve, excel, compete, and experience championship outcomes. The Independence Community School District will set you up for success during and after your career as a Mustang. Visit www.independence.k12.ia.us to learn more about how you can live the Mustang way and truly be second to none.
Looking to learn more about what the Mustangs are up to? Tune in to AVTN, your official home for all things Mustangs. Here at AV Tech Network News, we pride ourselves in producing professional-looking newscasts filled with the positive events and projects ongoing within our district and honoring those who accomplish truly great things. Tune in online or through social media as we produce and share a newscast each month, updating you on the very latest with our school district on your home for all things Mustangs.
What does it mean to be maroon and white? What does it mean to be a Mustang? Pride, determination, and a unified support of all things Mustang. Support the 3 A's of Mustang excellence: arts, athletics, and academics. Success in all areas and a drive to be competitive is who we are. We are the Mustangs. Support the maroon and white in school and around town by showing your Mustang pride each and every day. This message is brought to you by AVTN and the Independence AV Tech Club.
Two years ago, the Iowa legislature managed to pass a 4% increase in state funding. This allowed districts across the state to keep pace with the national inflation rate facing the economy. The money was used by many districts to help offset increased operating costs, improve facilities, or expand staffing. This past year, Many schools went all the way to the front steps of the Iowa Capitol building following a lengthy and drawn-out legislative period where the government came in and understood district hopes, most notably after the governor vetoed a one-time funding deal. Not only was the final funding under inflation rates, it was also very late. State law requires the legislature to finalize and pass education funding in the spring so that districts have time to finalize a budget for the upcoming school year. The lack of increased funding forced many of Iowa's districts into cutting funds. Now it's back to the drawing board to rehash the same issue for next year. Currently, Iowa House Representatives recently passed a bill that would provide 2% increases for education, while the Senate is expected to pass a counterbill seeking 4%. The governor has recently called for 2.5%. Either way, the debate looks to rage on in Des Moines, even as the Iowa Department of Education urges officials to work swiftly towards a resolution so districts can get back to work on educating Iowa students.
Here at home, the low increase this past year definitely had its impacts. In a statement to AVTN, Superintendent Gene Peterson noted, "The state legislature has not kept up with the appropriate amount of state funding and has not made decisions in a timely manner in the past 2 years in particular. This has hurt our school's budget. The amount of funding we have received the past 2 years has not covered the raises and cost of insurance increases we need to give our employees. We cannot keep dipping into our budget in this manner. That is why we had to make almost $400,000 in cuts for this school year. My hope is that since we are up 25 students this school year overall enrollment, we won't have to make any cuts for the next school year. But I cannot say that for a fact just yet. We certainly are not in a position to bring any of those positions cut last year back until we know what allowable growth will be from the state. 2% will barely cover any raises or insurance increases we may need to give for the next school year. 4% will give us a little bit more cushion." End quote. While educators are wishing for an early spring resolution to this issue, districts and communities across the state are not confident in results being announced anytime soon. We will continue to follow this story for further updates throughout the winter and spring. In other state government news, for a second consecutive year, the Iowa legislature is considering a bill to allow legal sales of consumer fireworks. The bill, which passed out of a subcommittee on a 10-5 vote, does face some challenges, though. Advocates argue that money is already leaving the state to neighboring states like Wisconsin and Missouri, where it is legal to sell and purchase fireworks like Roman candles. These illegal fireworks are then returning to the state and ignited. Opponents of the bill argue traditionally held beliefs about safety and liability. One lesser-known argument against the bill last year, and again this year, isn't so much about the fireworks themselves, but the sound they make once lit. Post-traumatic stress disorder has entered the discussion as many veterans exhibit stress, flashbacks, and other cognitive issues related to PTSD when fireworks erupt unexpectedly. The bill now goes up for discussion and possible amendments.
In presidential politics, Iowa held its first-in-the-nation caucuses on February 1st. On the Democratic side, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton defeated Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders by a 0.3% margin. Clinton declared in a victory while Sanders called it a virtual tie. On the Republican side, Texas Senator Ted Cruz took first place with 28% of the vote. Donald Trump took second with 24%, and Marco Rubio took a close third with 23%. Rubio's stronger-than-expected results boosted him to the forefront of the GOP establishment. The candidates then focused on New Hampshire, which held its primaries this past week. Polls indicated that Trump and Sanders had significant leads over their rivals, and New Hampshire didn't stray away from the early polls. For the GOP, Donald Trump handily won the first-in-the-nation primaries, while Iowa favorites Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio slipped to a third and fifth following weak mid-month debate performances. Ohio Governor John Kasich surprised many with a strong second-place showing. Ultimately, the New Hampshire primaries weren't strong enough for more, as 2 more candidates dropped out. Between Iowa and New Hampshire, 3 key GOP candidates have suspended their campaigns, including Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, former HP executive Carly Fiorina, and most recently, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton was feeling the burn in New Hampshire as the Vermont senator easily won the state primary, just over 60% of the votes. The Democratic race also slimmed down following the first two states after Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley dropped out of the race following a poor Iowa caucus turnout that saw the candidate struggled to reach even 1% of the votes. In world health news, a rare virus called the Zika virus is spreading throughout North America. The Zika virus is a mosquito-borne virus that causes symptoms including fever, skin rashes, muscle pain, joint pain, and headaches. Usually the symptoms are mild and usually last between 2 to 7 days. About 1 in 5 infected with the virus will get sick from it. The CDC recommends pregnant women don't travel to any Zika-infected areas, but if they do, they should talk to their healthcare provider first and follow steps to avoid bites. In the past week, several southern states have begun mosquito pest controls in an attempt to ramp up protection and control of the spread of the virus before warmer summer months spread mosquitoes further into the United States.
Supply and demand are both working together in a way aiding consumers but hurting producers, and while it's not directly affecting those here at home, the effects are just around the corner indirectly. While Iowa isn't a major oil-producing state, other states are seeing economic downfalls as oil companies have begun to lay off workers as the price of fuel in the United States has dropped to unprecedented lows. Where gas was nearly $4 a gallon just 2 years ago, gas today in some parts of the country dropped to 99 cents this week. Economists say this may not be the bottom yet. Prices may continue to drop and hold steady through the first half of the year, even into early summer, as high supplies and low demand have flooded the market and caused the fuel industry bubble to burst. So, how does this affect Iowa? Well, Iowa farmers could see the ripple effect by this fall as low fuel prices also mean low ethanol prices, bringing lower corn prices. Iowa farm markets are expected to decline ahead of anticipated declining fuel market values. Now, coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your Mustang Sports Nation highlights and scoreboard. But first, a look at your weather vision forecast.
We're enjoying a warming trend today and through the weekend, though it might stay on the windy side. We'll give you the details in your Weather Vision 8 forecast after the break. You're watching AVTN, All Things Mustangs.
Have you had the opportunity to see or play in an athletic event at Lyle Limbaugh Field? How about visit or use the multi-purpose athletics facility at the field? Have you or someone you know had the chance to walk the American Trotter Trail on the district's campus? Chances are many of you have, but many of you may not know a group of volunteers comprising the Independence Mustang Foundation has helped pave the way for these great assets to our school district and community, literally, by also working on the Limbaugh Complex Paver Project. The Mustang Foundation continues to support district-wide projects including the Junior-Senior High School Grand Piano, new cameras and technology for staff, students, and AV Tech Club, plus the group is now working on a project called The Final Push, which will foster new field turf for outdoor events, a new district home for the school's tennis, softball, and baseball teams with venues on the district's unified campus. Learn how you can donate and support the Mustang Foundation's mission by visiting their website at www.indymustangfoundation.com. The Mustang Foundation, helping unite us all as the Mustangs. The Mustang Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Looking for a great way to support the Maroon and White? Consider sponsoring AVTN. AVTN is a year-round project for the Independence AV Tech Club, which provides video services to both arts and athletics. AVTN advertising is a fundraiser for the AV Tech Club, allowing students involved to become further hands-on with the latest technology and expand our services. Over the past year, grant money, donations, and advertising have allowed our group to upgrade our productions to full HD video, increase special effects at auditorium shows, and to bigger and more energetic services for athletics. AVTN is truly made possible with your support and is a great way to connect the school with our community. To learn more about AVTN sponsorships, contact Mr. McBride, executive producer of AVTN, at tmcbride@independence.k12.ia.us or by phone at 319-334-7400. AVTN, your source for all things Mustangs.
The cool and snowy conditions we saw earlier this month are all but a thing of the past compared to these slightly above normal conditions we've seen throughout the mid part of the week. Averages this time of year show that our daily high temps for mid-February should be close to 33 degrees and overnight lows closer to the mid-teens. Part of what will continue to help our daily temps warm is the increase in daylight. You may have noticed sunrise is closer to 7 a.m. and sunset gets closer to 6 o'clock. Factoring all of those time points into the long-range forecast, the Climate Prediction Center this week released the updated long-range climate forecasts. In the short term, through the end of the month, we'll be looking at temperatures to stay close, if not slightly above average, while on the precipitation forecast, we'll be expecting quieter conditions with most of the activity becoming more zonal along the subtropical jet stream across the Gulf Coast states. Looking across the country, temps for this weekend look to be quite nice for most of the nation. Here in the Midwest, we'll see temps today in the upper 40s, with some areas here in Iowa may reach in the low 50s. Lows will remain warm in Saturday, melting much of the snowpack across the Midwest. Saturday temps will bring more of the same. Temps close to 50 for the highs and overnight lows closer to the freezing mark. Both Friday and Saturday night we could see some patchy fog with melting snow because of warmer overnight lows. Sunday, however, will start to cool back off as a disturbance passes through the Midwest. Looking at our Weather Vision 8 surface map, starting on Friday, midway, we'll continue to see southerly winds pushing up warm Gulf air into Iowa, becoming a warm front associated with a low pressure area to our north. The majority of the storm will stay to our north across Minnesota and Wisconsin, bringing a mix of rain and snow to the upper peninsula of Michigan and northern parts of Wisconsin. Here in Iowa, we'll just enjoy some sunny but breezy conditions. By Saturday, more of the same as the storm system to the north slowly moves to the east. By Sunday, the cold front passes through early to mid-morning, switching our winds to the west along some of clouds throughout the day. By Monday morning, temperatures will be back closer to seasonal averages, with high pressure settling into the Midwest, ushering the cold Canadian air over much of the Midwest, bringing our focus closer to home for tonight. Much of eastern Iowa will see temps in the low to mid-30s. 33 here at home, 34 to our south for Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. We'll see mostly clear conditions through though some patchy fog is possible late. For your day tomorrow, sunny skies, still breezy, but mild for this time of year, with daytime high temps we'll see above normal in the 50s. To our north, 48 for Decorah and Charles City, 51 for Independence, as well as Cedar Falls. Winds will be again gusty out of the south at 10 to 20 miles an hour, approaching 30 miles an hour at some times. For tomorrow night, we'll continue to stay warm with lows above freezing area wide in the mid-30s. Winds will begin to lighten up with partly cloudy skies and some possible late patchy fog. Looking ahead to your full Weather Vision 8 7-day forecast, we'll see those warm temps through Saturday night before temps cool off early next week, with highs on Monday closer to the seasonal averages of 30 degrees. Overnight lows will also drop back to Monday in the upper teens. Some computer models are wanting to push overnight lows maybe into the lower 20s. Overall, the weather looks to remain quiet with some clouds by midweek, otherwise sunny skies throughout the next week.
Thanks a ton, Ryan. Coming up after the break, the Mustangs are headed back to state. We'll let you know all the details of success in the gym with Mustang Nation Scoreboard Report after the break. You're watching AVTN, all things Mustangs.
What can being a Mustang do for you? Let's start from the top. Being a Mustang will give you the chance to learn from some of the state's best teachers at all levels, kindergarten through high school. Being a Mustang will allow you the chance to become involved and hands-on with our state award-winning arts, athletics, plus our non-competitive activities groups. Being a Mustang will allow you to study, achieve, and grow into the person you want to be. Will you be a Mustang? For more information on the Mustang Way, visit the school's website at www.independence.k12.ia.us. Independence Community Schools. Start here, succeed anywhere.
Arts, athletics, and academics. 3 A's that describe the Mustangs. With a rich history in all areas, the Mustangs strive to be the standard for excellence on all fronts. A school district second to none where students have numerous opportunities to achieve, excel, compete, and experience championship outcomes. The Independence Community School District will set you up for success during and after your career as a Mustang. Visit www.independence.k12.ia.us to learn more about how you can live the Mustang way and truly be second to none.
It may be cold outside, but athletics are heating up in Independence in the gym. With a solid month of Walmart Conference wrestling, the Mustangs clinched another conference championship and made their way into postseason matches. This past week, the Mustang took down Denver Tripoli to advance for the third year in a row to the Iowa State Duels Tournament at Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines. Team wrestling begins Wednesday, February 17th at 9 a.m. The number 6 seeded Mustangs will face off against the number 4 seed Clarion Goldfield Dows. Check back for updates from state in our next episode. Another Mustang group is seeing success this season as well. Mustang Bowling, while one of the district's newest activities in the past few years, has seen rapid growth and interest. The Mustangs recorded their third win of the season with senior Ryan Payton, who saw a great game play, scoring 203. For basketball and wrestling, the winter season is almost over. February brings the state tournament for the 3 sports, and be sure to follow AVTN for all of your Mustang sports postseason coverage in our next episode. As we head to break, here's a look at your Mustang Nation scoreboard. We'll be right back.
Have you had the opportunity to see or play in an athletic event at Lyle Limbaugh Field? How about visit or use the multi-purpose athletics facility at the field? Have you or someone you know had the chance to walk the American Trotter Trail on the district's campus? Chances are many of you have, but many of you may not know a group of volunteers comprising the Independence Mustang Foundation has helped pave the way for these great assets to our school district and community, literally, by also working on the Limbaugh Complex Paver Project. The Mustang Foundation continues to support district-wide projects including the Junior-Senior High School Grand Piano, new cameras and technology for staff, students, and AV Tech Club, plus the group is now working on a project called The Final Push, which will foster new field turf for outdoor events, a new district home for the school's tennis, softball, and baseball teams with venues on the district's unified campus. Learn how you can donate and support the Mustang Foundation's mission by visiting their website at www.indymustangfoundation.com. The Mustang Foundation, helping unite us all as the Mustangs. The Mustang Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Looking to learn more about what the Mustangs are up to? Tune in to AVTN, your official home for all things Mustangs. Here at AV Tech Network News, we pride ourselves in producing professional-looking newscasts filled with the positive events and projects ongoing within our district and honoring those who accomplish truly great things. Tune in online or through social media as we produce and share a newscast each month, updating you on the very latest with our school district on your home for all things Mustangs.
Before we wrap up this month's edition of AVTN, we've got time to take one last look at your forecast.
Above normal temps through the middle of the month, we'll see snowmelt and maybe some fog for midweek.
That's nice.
For myself and Spencer, thank you for tuning into this month's edition of AVTN. AVTN News is a production of the students in AV Tech Club here at the Independence Junior Senior High. We, of course, always welcome your news tips at our station's email at indyavtechclub@gmail.com.
This has been the AVTN News for mid-February 2016, and thanks again for watching.
For all of us with AVTN News, we'll see you next time on AVTN, All Things Mustangs. Have a great day and even better tomorrow.